Okay, Tuesday here. Glad you're with us, everybody, on Longshore and McKnight. Pretty good Monday if you're a sports fan like we are. A lot of football, some baseball, college football tonight. Man, couldn't ask for better.
I'm telling you, there was a lot going on. There was a lot to enjoy. Definitely go along with John from Wetumpka. Man, the TV ratings for the Major League playoffs were strong. The wild card series averaging a record 4.6 million viewers, 64% increase from the previous year. Tons of people watching it last night. And also,
hey, John, how about that Daily Dog today? Did you have the Falcons last night? Well, more on that later.
What the heck, by the way?
6 million.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think, I'm not certain, but I think the Duke-Cal game had about 4 million at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. I mean, are you tooting your horn because baseball in postseason had 4 million people watch it?
4.6 million. Don't just dismiss 600,000 people as if they're not even worthy of mention.
I'm going to round it up. Let's just say 5 million. I'm going to give them 400,000.
And they play again, and they play again, and they'll have another game, and people will tune in to that one. You know what happens if you missed last night's Commanders-Bears game? You won't get another NFL game until Thursday. And then, maybe one Friday, once in a while, then Sunday. That's the beauty of baseball, is it's a daily thing.
Oversaturated. I'm going to make this, I haven't looked at a number, don't know. But I'm going to make this bold statement just because I believe it. You can pick whatever NFL game you want from last night. Falcons, Bills, Commanders, and Bears. And you can take those two baseball games that were played yesterday, combine the ratings together, and pick whatever NFL game you want. It will not top that NFL rating from last night.
This is the mindset that always disturbs me. Baseball is really strong. I've watched, all of my friends have watched.
Yeah.
Very few of John's friends have watched.
I got a few.
John has not watched.
What do you constitute as watching? Because I did,
Does John watch any television? If you television, like radio, measures viewers and listeners, consumers, by what we call in the business AQH, which is average quarter hour. That's how sticky you are in keeping viewers and listeners. How many people are watching in any particular 15-minute segment?
How long in a 15-minute segment?
15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes. Oh,
that's where John does not figure in, because John does not watch anything for 15 consecutive minutes.
Well,
so he factors out of there.
I did watch the NFL for longer than 15 minutes last night. I watched Fox News for longer than 15 minutes. Reruns of Law and Order for 15 minutes. But I hear what you're saying.
This mindset is what frustrates me. It's one of the many things that frustrates me about Alabama fans. It's the same thing. Baseball has terrific ratings. Last night, baseball, they played 2 games, just like football. Yesterday. They've got, unlike football, they've got a game today. Guess what? Got a game scheduled on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and then you go on as needed after that. That's what I love about baseball. Hey, you want to watch the game? Yeah, I don't have any plans. Let's watch the game. So the ratings are strong. The immediate reaction is, but NFL ratings are stronger.
Yeah.
That's the same thing about Alabama fans that kills me. You win a game against Missouri, and some of them follow John's mindset of, Missouri's not any good. They haven't played anybody.
True.
They might be really good and haven't played anybody, But no, they're not any good. And then what do we see when Alabama hangs on? Missouri by 3 on Saturday. They hang on to win it. Really good game. Missouri gave them all they can handle. And what did we hear yesterday? What did that running back rush for? 52 yards. I mean, didn't I tell you Missouri wasn't any good? What is one of their favorite chants? We just beat the do out of you when you kick a last-second field goal or you hold on a defense. Did you really? That's the thing about it. We are great. Our numbers are great. Our team is great. Everybody else, they're not as good as us. So, therefore, they deserve our scorn.
Well, a couple of things. Have we gotten the list of the top 100 rated sporting events for our calendar year? Because I'm waiting to see baseball not even on it. Not even the World Series, the playoffs, Braves baseball in the middle of July. Nobody watches baseball, as was stated and proven by the TV ratings of calendar year 2023, 24, whatever year it was, dominated by the NFL, college football, the Masters, things like that, but not even in the top 100 of the sporting events in the calendar year did baseball even register. That's got to be a glaring issue that baseball's got to deal with. Number two, if Missouri was any good, they wouldn't be an underdog to Auburn this weekend. Are you kidding me? Auburn's lost 3 games. They have 0 offense. They are a favorite against this really good Missouri team with the nation's leading rusher. And Auburn's the favorite? I know you've rolled your eyes on this one 100 times. Hey, man, I don't know. But if Vegas says it, I don't know. I'm telling you, they think Auburn's the better team here.
This is what also kills me. And, John has got his bed feathered. I mean, he's got the big, cushy, double-stuffed Serta. He's sitting back in it because not only does he make these statements, but he also says he'll admit it right up. It's like when the government had to make cigarettes come up with this big thing that they plaster on the walls of the convenience stores and on the pack itself that says, cigarettes are dangerous to your health. They may kill you. Have at it. John will admit, look, I don't know the numbers. I haven't looked up the numbers, couldn't tell you, but I'm going to make this broad statement. He admits it right at the beginning. I don't know. Numbers, schmumbers. I'm going by feel on this deal. Barry, man, if you want to look up the numbers, knock yourself out. I ain't going to do it. I got no interest in it. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
But this is my blanket statement on it.
Same thing. It's like golf. These guys get out there with a rangefinder. They're zeroing in, angle and descent. I said, that kind of looks like 160-ish, 162. Let's go with it. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, I got time to pull a rangefinder out.
What's the worst that could happen,
Yeah. Okay, so I get it within 4 feet or I get it within 6 feet. I mean, come on. I can make both those putts.
No, life is short. Don't waste it researching.
Where's the bar cart girl? Let's go. Come on.
That's exactly right. But
so, John, I'm waiting for those numbers. I see you giddy about baseball. I'm not going to bring the Braves up.
Alabama beats Missouri. John Dent, Bama Pride, says, what was the Tide favored by? They were favored by what?
3.
3.5? Yeah,
well,
3.
We had them at 3.
That was a very famous push.
Yeah, it
was. But it was like, man, I told you Missouri was no good. That nation's leading running back. He ran for 52 yards, which ain't bad. But I told you they weren't any good. Heck, we beat them.
I'm going to make a note.
I love. The actual score of a competitive competition between 2 SEC programs, that don't matter. It doesn't matter what you saw with your own eyes on the football field. You know how I can tell the Missouri ain't any good? Because Vegas tells me they're not as good as Auburn is. Forget my eyes. Forget what I saw. Forget the notes that I took. Vegas tells me this, I'm going to go all in.
Yeah, I'm in a court of law, and I'm stating my case. Boom, Your Honor. Missouri's an underdog this week. I rest my case. Now, I did say yesterday they're physical. I'll give them that. Missouri, excuse me, a very physical team. Saw some athleticism there. I think their quarterback's pretty good. They're maybe a little too high on themselves. I thought some of their actions on the field, which caused penalties, were uncalled for. But their schedule was extremely soft. Hadn't played anybody. Hadn't left Columbia. They're leaving Columbia for the first time. They are an underdog. Do you think this so-called nation's leading rusher rushes for 100 yards against Auburn? Yes. Over or under?
Yeah, I'm
going under. He will not rush for over 100 yards against Auburn Saturday.
I don't know how he ended up at Missouri. Auburn could sure use him. They could use a running back of any kind. Now that Damari Alston is off the team. What do you I know John saw the news.
Well, it was on
Damari Alston is off the team. Yeah. So what does he do? Two things. As a responsible journalist and relentless seeker of the truth. Number one, he goes to the best website for Auburn news and information, and that's TigerInsider.com. And number two, he goes to his favorite, most trusted, most revered writer, and that's Philip Marshall, AuburnUndercover.com, who writes, for Freeze and Auburn, the next 6 games will tell the story.
I'm about halfway through that column. Has he mentioned Damari Alston in that column yet? Because I haven't seen any.
He has not.
Okay, I haven't seen anything from Philip about the former team captain leaving his teammates and the Auburn program. Rumors about he wanted to be redshirted or something. Who knows?
Yep. That's a thing. That is a thing that happens. That happens at every school in the country. And a lot of times the coaches are able to say, look, man, we need you. You'll play a role on this team. Damari Alston, the running back, I thought very good running back. He was the heir apparent to Jarquez Hunter, who had been almost pretty much the Auburn offense for a couple of years. But he graduated, moved on to the NFL. This guy was the heir apparent. Damari has waited his turn and everything. Well, he's been hurt. He's missed games. And evidently what I'm hearing is that he wanted to get a medical red shirt and get back at it next year. And two things. I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong, although Freeze looks at it like, man, I need you here this year. I need everybody on this team to be 100% committed to this year. You'll play a role this year. We believe in you. If I allow you to redshirt, and bear in mind, Freeze can't grant a medical redshirt. You have to be medically disqualified. The doctors have to say so. It has to be cleared. You cannot get a medical redshirt for a hangnail or a stub toe or something like that and say, hey, I can't play. But Freeze is of the mind that we need you. We need every bit of production we can get, because if we don't start winning some games, I ain't going to be here next year. And your future with the Auburn football team won't mean a hill of beans to me.
Yeah.
You get me on that? I got to have you. And he says, I really don't. Think about it. Come on back and tell me what you think. And he says, I really need a red shirt. And Freeze says, gotta let you go.
Yeah.
And
there again, it's a different day and age. The players have more control. And if they feel like, this isn't in the best interest of me, there again, we talk about it being a team player, but I think there's a lot of individualism in college athletics these days. I guess it's just the environment which we live with, NIL transfers, whatever. I need the better opportunity. The opportunity I have here isn't working out. I don't want to waste it, whatever. It's a different day and age. But is he the only one? A lot of speculation that there's others going to follow Damari Alston's lead on this. I did not, I came close, Barry, but I just thought, I've grown up. I've matured a little bit. I was about to send you the rat and the ship emoji, but I thought, that's played. I'm not doing that anymore.
If he could think of another one, he would. But the two things, the big upshot out of all of this, and I wish the kid well, I always do. Number one, that is a loss. An experienced running back who has all of that potential that, if he does get right, I mean, he could be a real linchpin on this team. They are very thin at running back without him. And number two is devastating to the team. Like, depending on who you agree with or who you follow, the guys at Auburn Undercover, Brian Matthews, who we'll talk to in a moment from auburnsports.com, they all talk about how immensely popular Damari Alston is with his teammates. John pointed out he's a captain on this team. He had patiently waited his turn for, the starring role, so to speak, and all that. This is, they'll miss his production, John, but this is a hit to the team.
Well, it is.
Chemistry
no
and the culture and all of that. That's difficult.
It is. I was a little surprised when I saw that.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's you don't need that type of news based on the news you've been getting over the last 3 games. But hey, Auburn's a favorite. True. Somebody thinks Auburn's the better team. And those folks out in Vegas, those lights been flashing for a long time. They don't ever turn them off. They know something.
Well, they were a favorite yesterday. Now, Damari hasn't been effective or whatever. Right now, what I'm looking at, and this is yahoosports.com.
Yeah, what do they know?
Now they've got Missouri as a 1.5-point favorite.
Well, I am looking at Bet365, which Auburn's the favorite, BetMGM, DraftKings, ESPN Bets, Caesars. I see Auburn as a 2-point. I don't see Auburn as an underdog in any of these locations.
It is going to be interesting.
By Saturday, it could be different. I will say this, Barry. I know a walk-on running back at Auburn that maybe could get a little time.
Oh, here's a personal recommendation. Y'all listen up over there.
Number 25. Give him a couple of totes. See what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. We have got a lot to get to on the program today.
Yes,
Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, always a straight shooter with us. Travis Ryer on YouTube a little bit later on as well. Lots of still some recapping to do.
Oh,
the NFL last night. What in the heck?
I mean,
how did the Falcons lose by 30 to the Panthers?
Yeah.
And they beat the Bills by double digits.
Did you hear that, John, from Wetumpka? Oh, more on that in about
an
hour. But the Falcons got to lose those unis, though.
Oh, those are the best. Are you kidding me? The flat wing Falcon on the helmet, red helmet, black jersey.
I don't ever remember them wearing black jerseys. I remember the red jerseys with the red helmet and the white pants.
This is pre-Bartkowski. This is when Bobby Lee was the quarterback. And they used to play at Grant Field, and football was, by gosh, football.
I don't know if you noticed the logo at midfield, but I do remember that was their first logo, like in the late 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, man, I hadn't seen that logo in forever. But
and the Buffalo Bills, all those Super Bowl years, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, they had the Buffalo that was springing forward.
Yeah.
Which a Buffalo never does. Buffalo just stands there.
They went the old O.J. Simpson uniform.
Yeah, the old O.J. Simpson Buffalo just standing there, which is not very exciting on the side of your helmet. But that's what Buffaloes do, is they just stand there. So anyway, lots to get to. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. Once again, we find we don't disagree. We don't agree on anything. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. All righty, welcome back in. Glad you're with us here on a Tuesday here on the program. Longshore McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Just got a text from number 25's dad. He appreciated the shout out this morning here on the program, Barry. So maybe we'll see him. I'm pulling for. I look forward to every week.
Without Damari Alston anymore, I mean, not on the team.
Yeah.
You're looking at, of course, Montgomery's own Jeremiah Cobb, freshman Omar Mabson, Justin Jones, maybe Alvin Henderson, the 5-star, who probably a reason why he's not played very well. I played it all this year. Something to do with the issues that Derrick Henry had when he first stepped on campus. Remember that story? Derrick Henry was talking on a podcast earlier this year. Yep. He was talking about coming from Yulee to Alabama, and Saban was getting on him for not blocking, not picking up the blitzer for the quarterback. And and Derrick said, "Coach, I never had to block." I said, whenever I was playing, high school, they just turned and handed the ball to me. I never had to block. They were blocking for me. I think it's the same thing with Alvin Henderson. He's got to learn some of the other nuances of playing the sport. But
you're right.
That's where they are right now.
Yeah,
and that's where the Auburn running. Maybe Darrell Robinson, but he had that compartment syndrome thing with his leg filling up with blood or something. Gosh, awful. They're in trouble a little bit, John.
I would say so. I'm with you. Not just with the departure of Damari Alston, but certainly the offense. We've talked about it a lot. It would be certainly big for Hugh Freeze to win this game Saturday night. I think that's probably the easiest statement that I could make today. And there again, I think they're close. I think Auburn can win this game, no doubt. I mean, this line's really close. I certainly don't have a feeling here on a Tuesday that Auburn's not winning this game. Not at all. I think they got a good chance to win it.
So, it'll be a full house here. God bless Auburn fans. I'm proud of them because they will fill that place up. They'll make it loud and noisy Saturday night when Missouri comes in. But here's what they're thinking. Not everybody, but they're looking and they're saying, what in the heck happened to Damari Alston? We need him. Yep. Can't you, I let bygones be bygones? Can't you cut him a break? Man, we need a running back. I don't care what he did or anything like that. And a lot of them are looking at the quarterback, John. And some of them, like you, are intelligent enough and perceptive enough to check the quarterback ratings. The good old QBR.
Yes.
That John is a big fan of, especially when number 10 was running was running onto the field for the Auburn Tigers at quarterback.
Yeah.
And they look at the SEC QBR ratings, or they have somebody tell them, and dead last among SEC quarterback starters in the good old QBR is Jackson Arnold. They're thinking, I don't really understand QBR, but I know dead last, and dead last ain't the place to be. And then they look over on the sidelines and they see, this freshman left-handed kid, the number 6 quarterback recruit in the 2025 class, looked pretty good. And a couple of drives against Ball State, but that's about it. The Stanford guy, Ashton Daniels, hadn't played at all. They're looking over there thinking, freshman quarterback, 5-star. Our starting quarterback not doing too well. What do you say we give old Deuce a try? And he's got to deal with all that. Hugh does.
Well, didn't he not say, Hugh Freeze, that Jackson Arnold is the guy? He's going to be the guy here on Saturday. I don't think you make the move there either.
That's what the fans are talking about.
I know it, but
they
ain't okay. So if Auburn kind of fiddle farts around midway through the second quarter, Arnold trots back out there, are we going to hear some booing?
No, you'll hear it sounds like booing, but they'll be saying deuce. You know, I hate to say it like this because I never like it when anybody loses their job, but Hugh's got to do some things for the good of the football team. He always does. And he was griping to Greg Sankey and our buddy John McDade in the SEC officiating office about how, as he said in his press conference yesterday, officials' calls are hurting his football team.
Yeah.
So doing that, standing up for them. But he's got to come to a point where he's thinking, I don't care if I've got the greatest offensive mind in college football and I've assembled the best staff that Auburn can possibly have. If I don't win some games, it doesn't matter what I stand for or
no doubt
I have at quarterback, because they're going to graduate me out of here and get somebody else.
Got to do
he's got a little bit of the tight collar.
Sure. Got to do anything to win football games. Because if he was winning football games, he could play all the golf he wanted to and nobody would care.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter. But now that you're not winning, everything is under a microscope. They're picking apart everything that you do, and winning solves all that. Winning cures a lot of those ills, and you start winning, things are going to be a little bit better for you.
People don't necessarily mind, generally speaking, people don't really mind a good duck hunt. You know, people don't care.
Concert.
I like James Taylor. You know, Fire and Rain. You know, in my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. I love James Taylor. Sure, go to a concert and all that. You start, play a lot of golf. Absolutely. 2-3 rounds a week, knock yourself out. You start losing, and all of a sudden, that ain't cool anymore. You know, going duck hunting during recruiting season or right at the end of recruiting season. That doesn't hold. That doesn't.
You win. You know, Bear, I've used it this way. If you are leading the sales department in sales,
yes,
and those checks are coming in every month, and that sales manager is thinking, man, this guy, he is my guy. Man, this guy is killing it out there.
Yeah.
And you want to leave at noon on Friday? He ain't saying a word.
John could walk in with flip-flops on, frayed blue jeans, and a T-shirt that says, Frankie says relax on the front.
That's right.
And everybody'd be cool with it. He never did, but he could have.
Yeah. And you got this guy over here that's busting his tail. He can't get in the door anywhere. This sales manager's on his ass every day. And he's looking over at this other guy going, wait a minute. This guy's busting out of here at noon on Friday. I mean, what's the deal? Well, you start bringing in what he's bringing in, you can leave at noon on Friday too.
I'll never forget, somebody asked Ted Turner when he was the owner of the Braves, they say, what in the world's Henry Aaron do every day as the executive associate vice president for the Atlanta Braves? And Ted says, well, I don't know, but you hit 755 home runs and I'll find a place for you. You know, that is the law of productivity.
Yes.
If you produce, you'd be surprised at some of the stuff, some of the leeway that you would get.
It's funny, back in the radio days, all those GMs we had, they loved me. Yeah, yes. It was great.
Yeah, that guy with his tie cinched up and his, Vitalis and reeking of Levoris and stuff. That guy wasn't doing anything, and they looked like he had the mange or something. It was not good. Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, we get some answers from our man Brian Matthews from AuburnSports.com. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117. Or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
The dreams that matter most happen while we're awake, because they're the ones that remind us of the places we want to go, of the ideas we plan to pursue, of the legacies we hope to leave. We understand you have goals to meet, and we want to help you reach them, to fuel your vision and invest in whatever motivates you. So we want to know, what inspires you? Synovus Bank, member FDIC.
Hey folks, how often do you think about your roof? Probably not often at all. I know I didn't until I needed a roof replacement. And I call my friends at Roof Life. Whether it's roof inspections, roof repair, or insurance roof replacement, Roof Life is there for you. They use the highest quality products, top quality craftsmanship, and if you're like me, your roof can be replaced in one day. So if you're in need of a roof inspection, roof repair, or insurance roof replacement, get in touch with my friends at Roof Life today. You can go to roofyourlife.com. That's roofyourlife.com, or dial them up locally at 334-306-6712. That's 334-306-6712. Okay, back at it here on this Tuesday, about 28 minutes to the top of the hour. I want to thank our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out there. Also, write up about the show each and every afternoon. Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Tunes. We're all over the place. So many places and so many ways to check us out. We really appreciate you hitting that like and that subscribe button as well. Speaking of bookmarks, we got a bookmark. Robbie from Greenville, Dennis, they're up early today, Barry. They're very active this morning. We'll get to them later, but our man Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. It is his slot as it is each and every Tuesday. Hey, Brian, good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Really, really well. Gosh, I hope you've settled in because there's a lot to address. First of all, we'll fire with both pistols here. Did the officials cost Auburn the Georgia game?
I mean, no, but Auburn's not catching a lot of breaks right now. That's for sure. I've watched that play at the goal line a bunch of times. I could, see it going either way. I really can, and it's a tough break for Auburn there. I thought Kirby clowning the refs and clowning Auburn like that was kind of prophetic about how the season's going, right? SEC refs got to be a little bit, I don't know, they shouldn't roll over like that quite easily. They should stand up for their profession and not let those things happen. But, it is what it is, right? But no, Auburn lost that game because they had 40 yards of offense in the second half. They were 0 of 6 on third down in the second half. And their offense completely tanked in the second half. That's why they lost that game.
We've seen that in the other losses as well. The second half is just not going well for Auburn. Is it the opposition making better adjustments at halftime? And that's something I can come up with. I just can't figure out why the breaks come on in the second half.
Yeah. Oh, I think part of it, or a big part of it, is right now Auburn operates most of its offense within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. There is no intermediate passing game. They run short passes, they run the ball, and they take a couple of shots downfield, and that is it for their offense. And right now those shots down the field are not hitting. And but blaming it on those shots down the field, I just think ignores that they can't complete a pass for 12 yards or 15 yards or 21 yards. That's just not a part of this offense. The longest play from scrimmage against Georgia was that run by Jackson Arnold. I think it was 24, 27 yards, something like that. The longest pass to receiver, I think, was 12 yards maybe.
Is that
and
right?
I believe that one was like a catch and run on a short hitch or a short curl where Cam Coleman just turned upfield and got like 8 extra yards. That's just, you have paid literally millions of dollars for the quarterback, for this receiver room, for 2 offensive tackles you can't pick out of the portal, and you have the worst passing game in the SEC and one of the worst passing games in the country. Yards per game passing. How does that happen? How is your offense designed to be this poor? I don't understand.
Jackson Arnold last in the league in quarterback rating. There's you wrote a small reporting piece about this at auburnsports.com that there's no change at quarterback expected for Missouri. Is it close? I mean, is it on the verge? Is it even being considered, do you imagine?
I heard a week ago that, if Jackson got off to a poor start, they're going to put Ashton in. And then this week we're told that, the plan all along for Ashton has been to redshirt. So who knows? I don't want to, hammer on Jackson Arnold. I think he's going out there and doing his best. He was the guy that Auburn handpicked as their quarterback out of the portal. He's the guy that they have appointed the number 1 guy on this team. It is not working for him. Is that all his fault? Absolutely not. You can look at the offense and tell that. This offense is not built to be successful, in my opinion. Whether or not that changes with another quarterback, I can't say. But if it was me, I would certainly give another quarterback a chance because, I think going out and putting Jackson in the same positions over and over, I don't see why it's going to work against Missouri. It hasn't worked the previous 3 SEC games. So we'll see how that goes. But it's not looking good for Auburn offensively. Not looking good for you, Freed. Now, not looking really good for anything going on with Auburn's program right now. Other than say, I give DJ Jerk and the defense a lot of credit. They continue to play hard, continue to play well. They did wear out in the second half against Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia ran 46 plays in the second half. 46. I mean, that's going to wear any defense out, and that's because the offense, I think, only had 21 plays, something like that. I don't know exactly. 3 consecutive 3 and outs there right in the middle of the second half. Right. It was just it was a killer.
Is Damari Alston, to your knowledge, going to be the only player that wants to redshirt or move on?
That's interesting. Probably not. I don't know of any other specifically yet. For most of Auburn's starters and top guys, they've already played more than 4 games, so they don't have that option. Damari, was a little banged up, so he had only played 4. So he does it out. I guess 5 is the cutoff. I'm not sure exactly, but so he does have that option. And I think the decision to sort of cut him loose in the way it was done, the words that were used in announcing that, I think that could have some repercussions on this team for sure. I just don't think that's going to go over well. I don't think you use the same words for Damari Alston that you would use for, a regular player who got in trouble or didn't show up for, classes or got arrested or something.
Yeah,
that you
didn't
Damari, I think it's different.
Yeah, didn't meet our standards and all that.
Yeah.
Everything I had ever heard, everything you had said and told us before and everything, that he is a great kid, did everything right, patient in waiting his turn, and was a real, I mean, his loss on the field is going to be significant, but his loss in the locker room maybe a
voted a
significant
team
percentage.
captain. One of 4 team captains is voted by the players, and I can understand people have this mindset. Well, he didn't want to play anymore. He's a quitter. You need to run him off. Blah 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 blah. And like that is the mindset that has been a part of college football and coaching and for years. I can understand, and I can understand that in this situation too.
Right.
But college football has changed immensely over these last 5 to 7 years. It's a totally different game. You've got to adapt to it. You've got to understand how your decisions is going to affect the entire team. All these kids are being paid a lot of money. They make business decisions all the time in their careers. In this case, Damari wanted to make a business decision where he could finish his career somewhere and really be the man and get carries and have that opportunity. But he was willing to stay at Auburn, be on the scout team, work his tail off, continue to be a leader and do all those things. Auburn rejected that idea for whatever reasons and cut him loose. Again, you can argue it back and forth, but I think in the long run, that's going to have a negative impact on some of his teammates, which could have a negative impact on the way they play this Saturday. So that decision is having a negative impact on this team potentially. We'll see. So I mean that's another tough one, and yeah, I can't say for sure how this team will react to it, but it didn't look good yesterday in my eyes.
That was the only thing, was the verbiage used. He didn't meet our standards, as though he let everybody down. I disagree with that. What does it mean in a football sense? I mean, who's left in the running back room viably to get out there, Brian?
Yeah, of course, Jeremiah Cobb has really taken over that starting job from right there. Montgomery done a good job. Again, you saw the first half, second half. I think he had around 50 yards or so in the first half, and then just got, that Georgia defense stepped up, or Auburn's offense couldn't get a job, however you want to look at it, but really got slowed down there in the second. They're going to have some guys step up. I think Omar Mabson, the true freshman from right here at Auburn, will have to be the number 2 guy. I think he showed a lot of potential as a running back. He just needed to get better at those little things that every running back coach talks about with a freshman, the pass blocking, the assignments, all those things, So we'll see how much he's improved in that over the last few weeks. Haven't seen a lot of him in SEC play. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, it is next man up at that position. And we'll see how that looks come Saturday.
I heard a theory yesterday, and I get it to some degree, but if Auburn, let's say, drops 2 more games, say, I don't know, this week in Vanderbilt, whatever 2 it is, does Hugh Freeze coach against Alabama in the Iron Bowl?
That would be 7-5 going to the Iron Bowl.
And I think the theory was if he goes into the Iron Bowl and beats Alabama, they can't fire him.
Yeah, I think for a lot of reasons, Auburn will need to make this decision before then. You got that 30-day window. I think that's still part of this. Maybe it's changed, but that opens up with the transfer portal. You don't want that running into after the season, which makes it a lot easier for players to leave or get into the portal or whatever. I know now with the portal being moved into later in January, I think it's week 2 of the playoffs. It's a little bit different where you can go in the portal, but people can't start recruiting you, I guess, officially until it actually opens or whatever nationally. But yeah, I just think for that reason and for the reasons that all these other schools are opening up their jobs, and if you want the guy that you want, you better get things settled and have everything set up and ready to go as soon as it's time to strike. So if Auburn needs to make that decision, I'd be very surprised if they put it off until right before the Alabama game.
What's the importance of the Missouri game? Therefore, what's the challenge there? I mean, I don't think it's a job saver in that sense, but man, do they need something good to happen to them?
Yeah.
Even one lucky break, maybe 2.
I mean, they do. they really need to play well and win a game in the SEC. It would certainly not be a signature win, or would not be a big win. I even saw Auburn was favored early on. I think Missouri is favored now, which I could not believe that Auburn was favored at some point during this process.
Yeah, well, we talked
Congratulations
about
to
it
anybody
earlier.
who got Auburn in the
Well, it's funny, Brian, because we were talking about this earlier today, and I went the website that I go to quite often that's got probably 8 to 10 sports books on it. Every one of them still has Auburn as a favorite. Now they're a slight favorite, 1.5 to 2, and I have heard that that Auburn is a dog in some spots, but there are a lot of folks out there still got them a favorite. I think by Saturday that could be a little bit different. I'm with you on that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a betting man, so I don't know. Missouri is clearly to me a better coach team, right? And I don't think there's a huge talent difference. And I'm not sure if Jordan-Hare is going to be a difference maker. We'll see. I think it helped that Auburn got off to a good start against Georgia. That kept the crowd into it, and it was still a game until the final, minutes when Georgia was able to get that touchdown late. So that kept things from really getting bad in Jordan-Hare. I think the crowd was into it pretty good. I don't know if Auburn was to get off to a slow start against Missouri, or things go not so well early, how that crowd is going to react. It could get kind of ugly.
This still is so surreal to me. There was even a goofy headline at AL.com, who I'm not a fan of. How long should Auburn give Hugh Freeze to figure out how to win in the SEC? He's won in the SEC. Right. He's won elsewhere in the SEC. He's experienced. He's had success.
Yep.
He's recruited well. Yep. What's not working, Brian?
Yeah, he is. I think he's 5-14 now in the SEC at Auburn. So in this era of football, he hasn't quite figured out how to win enough games. But I think you have to also, he inherited one of the worst rosters in Auburn history, I feel like, back in 2022 when he was hired in November. So that had to be overcome through recruiting and through portaling, and I think he's done that. I think his biggest issue is the offense. I think he recognized when he was first hired, and I wrote about this in my column, that he needed to be the CEO coach and hire offensive coordinator to run things on that side of the ball. He did that with Philip Montgomery. It didn't work out for whatever reason. He's basically appointed himself as OC and head coach the last couple of years. And this year, the offense is worse than it was under Philip Montgomery, significantly worse, with much better talent across the board. So I just think the main problem with this team is the offense and how it's not working under Hugh Freeze. I mean, the defense is working really, really well. And it would probably be better if the offense was working better too, right? You're getting them off the field. They're fired up, right? Even though they can say they're not pointing fingers, or can say they're not, those things are human things. They're going to happen even if you don't physically point your finger, right? It's just part of it. So it's to me, it's Hugh Freeze. It's the offense. That is the problem. It continues to be the problem. From what I heard Monday, it doesn't sound like there's going to be many changes to that offense. So I don't know why we're expecting anything different. Coach talked a lot about execution. The second half wasn't the same as it was in the first. Why, he says, why wasn't? Well, I mean, look in the mirror, right? You had all spring, all fall camp. We are 6 weeks into the season. If your team and players are not executing something, that's on you and your staff. I'm sorry, it just is. That's the way it is. Okay, it's on you. Yep. So we'll see. We'll see.
And I think it goes without saying, if the offense, could show some signs of life and have going a lot of long sustained drives and score touchdowns, get that passing game more involved, people are going to feel a lot better about it. I just don't think there's a lot of confidence that that's what they're going to see Saturday night.
There isn't. And maybe Auburn comes out and, rolls. Maybe this is, I'm never going to rule it out, because I've seen crazy things happen in college football, right? And if you looked at the first quarter and a half or the first 28 minutes of that game against Georgia, they had 3 first half drives of more than 70 yards, 70 or more yards. I mean, they looked pretty good going down that field. So, if they could sustain that a little bit more throughout a game and continue to play good defense and not have missteps on special teams and cut down the penalties and a lot of what ifs, but yeah, maybe they can get rolling here. I don't think Missouri's as talented as Georgia.
I agree.
So maybe they can. I just at some point they're gonna have one of those games though, if this keeps up, where everything kind of falls apart. So we'll see.
Well, and you will cover it, and the staff at auburnsports.com. It's an interesting time for sure. How do people log on and make sure they don't miss any of the details?
Yes, and we will continue to cover this team and the situation with Freeze in the future as closely as possible. auburnsports.com. You can sign up online for just $1. You can follow me on Twitter/X at BMATAU, and I'll be back over there here in about an hour. Get a look at practice, get to talk to some players, see how their reaction is to Damari and everything going on. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'll be reading, believe me, because that's an interesting facet of it. Brian, we appreciate it always. Thanks very much.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, buddy. Always. We appreciate Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us here as he does each and every Tuesday. And I really appreciate his insight and analysis. Yep, no doubt. Big week. Will the offense change enough to make a difference?
Here's the perspective on what we're talking about with Jackson Arnold. And I'm shocked that he's not more effective, because this team, and he handpicked this offense, he and his agent and his family and all that. Jackson Arnold currently ranked 16th in the SEC. And there's 16 teams with a 124 passing rating. His 6 yards per attempt, 16th in the SEC. Auburn is averaging 167 passing yards a game, 121st in the nation, and 16th.
If my memory serves me correct, those numbers sound a lot like Jackson Arnold's numbers when he was at Oklahoma.
When he didn't have his top 5 wide receivers because of injury. At some point, you've got to look and say, he is who his numbers say he is.
Yeah.
And when he's talking about the Georgia game, that sparked my memory, because only having a long pass of 12 yards is all you've got. I mean, and that was just throwing it out there to Cam Coleman and having him, negotiate his way upfield. Man, if I'm a defensive coordinator, my coach would fire me if I played a deep safety deep. I mean, I'm getting everybody, not everybody in the box, but everybody tight, because they ain't throwing it over your head. Not only are they not throwing it over your head, they're not even trying.
Well, I recall, I think the only long pass I can remember in the game last week, Arnold overthrew the receiver. It wasn't Cam Coleman. It was somebody else. And overthrew him by a couple of yards. He was open. He'd have scored, but just wasn't. The pass was not accurate.
Take a break. Don't forget, coming up, Travis Ryer on YouTube. We'll check in with him. Very, very, very interesting stuff on our chat line. Bill from Baltimore says, just back out. Let Derek Nix call everything, or let Kent Austin call everything. If they're guys he trusts, what's the problem?
Also, Barry, Dennis Mitchell earlier on the chat line says, John, you don't know what you're talking about. Can you be more specific? I mean, I've heard that. I've heard people say that for 40 years.
And usually they have a reason why. Yeah, I heard from Dennis Mitchell yesterday evening as well. He is fired up about the coaching change.
Oh, I bet. I mean, this is his time of year. There are a lot of vacancies out there, and I know Dennis is all over it, as is Robbie from Greenville. He's up early today too, Barry.
Yeah, I saw Zadarius Smith, Greenville defensive end, 11-year NFL vet, retired. Gosh almighty. Robbie also says Alabama's run defense did a tremendous job versus Ahmad Hardy. This is a strong win against the third straight top 20 team. This win will be significant for the college football playoff committee, that matters a lot more. Again,
Well,
just like
Robbie,
Dennis's point, that matters a lot more than what? A win on the road in the SEC against a top 20 team. Hey, that's a good win. But remember, it matters a lot more to the college. How about just a win? How about winning an SEC championship, taking a step forward as a football team?
We talked about this yesterday. Alabama's beaten Georgia, Vandy, and Missouri the last 3 weeks. But 2 on the road, 1 at home, all in the top 15.
Yep.
But they, Florida State, who beat them, is 0-3 in the ACC.
Yep.
Lost 3 games. Wisconsin's terrible. I think you need Missouri to keep winning. If Auburn beats Missouri, that doesn't look good for Alabama. And I think Robbie had said something earlier today about, Missouri's a great team, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. The jury's still out on Missouri with me. I mean, they played laid it on the line against the Tide, jumped on them early. Alabama comes back and wins the game, scored a late touchdown to kind of make it closer than it maybe actually was. But we'll see how it plays out. But I'm not sold on Missouri just yet.
That late touchdown didn't really count. The final score.
It counted.
The final score wasn't really indicative of anything. The score is the game. The scoreboard is everything. That's what I always love about people like Robbie. Man, that win was really big for the college football. That win was good because you played 60 minutes against somebody else and you beat them. Or, man, I can't believe that win. I'm telling you, that'll do a lot for recruiting. Recruiting?
Come on.
How about doing a lot for the football team that's out there right now? I love, they scored a late touchdown. It wasn't really that close.
Well, you think about it.
Scored to make it close.
Yeah, well, the roles were flipped the week prior when a late touchdown by Alabama maybe made that game look a little a bigger win than it actually was.
It is what the scoreboard says that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't forget, take a break here and coming back with Travis Reier on YouTube. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry and Longshore and McKnight are giving you the opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. Pick the exact score for either the Auburn or Alabama games each week. Limit 1 entry per person, per household, per game. You can enter anytime beginning Monday morning the week of the games, and all entries must be received before kickoff of each game. Enter by emailing your picks to longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. That's longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. And in the subject line, type in diamonds. 1 additional entry to win a 1-carat natural diamond valued at $3,000 will be up for all weekly winners to pick the score in the national championship game. Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. Open 7 days a week, or check them out at marguerites.com. At Marguerites, they make it. They really make it.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has F-150s and Lightnings, each $16,000 off, with 2.9% on F-150 or 0% on Lightning, and Super Duties $12,000 off or 0%.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has Broncos and Explorers, each $10,000 off, with 2.9% on Explorer, plus Mach-E's at $11,000 off or 0% for 75 months.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Getting close to the top of the hour. Travis Reier on YouTube, Talking Tide. Going to join us here momentarily. Barry, I had somebody ask me this yesterday. Did not, well, I guess I could have looked it up.
Does this sound familiar? As though, John's thinking, upon further review,
yeah.
I probably could have done some research, meaning there was no way in Hades he was going to look this up.
Well, the excitement.
Somebody else wanted to. He'd be glad to accept the work, the results of the research.
I think I like the excitement of when I hear it from somebody going, "Oh yeah, that's exactly right. That is true." To me, it's more fulfilling. We were talking about the Tampa Bay San Francisco game on Sunday.
Yes.
I believe there's a really good player for the Bucks that played at Troy.
Yes, Tez Johnson.
Okay.
Yep. My buddy. Yes.
The person asked me, and I thought, that's a really good question. I bet Barry probably knows this answer. Doesn't even have to look it up.
Okay.
Who has more players currently in the NFL? Troy or Auburn?
Let's see. I know Javon Solomon for the Bills, Kimani Vidal for the Chargers, who ran for 118 the other day.
Yeah.
Jason Jones helped me out here. Tez Johnson for the Buccaneers. I know. Reddy Stewart for the Cowboys. I'm sure Auburn does just because.
Is Bo Nix an Oregon or an Auburn guy? What day?
He's an Auburn guy.
Oh, Auburn guy, huh?
Absolutely.
He wasn't a team captain though. I don't remember.
Well, he was. He's got. If he holds an Auburn degree, then by definition he's an Auburn guy.
But he was drafted from Oregon.
Was he in Oregon? I know. I saw him. Was he at that Eli Manning thing where he rolled Toomer's corner?
I think he was. He and his father both were.
Yeah.
But I think when the commissioner of the NFL went to the podium and they played that little jingle, ding, 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 ding. Next pick from the University of Oregon, quarterback, Bo Nix.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think of an Auburn player that is really, I think about him every Sunday in the NFL, and one just doesn't pop into my head.
Oh, the tongue pop. Oh.
So I'm thinking Troy might have more players currently in the NFL than Auburn, but I don't know. I got to look it up. I'll look it up this later today.
Yeah.
How about that?
Jake Andrews, who's the starting center for the Houston Texans, went to Troy. Del Pettis, who's playing great for the Patriots. Marcus Jones, who had a punt return touchdown and an interception the other day for the Patriots, went to Troy. He's from Enterprise. I'm surprised we didn't bring him up. So I know there's 6 at least from Troy. The best Auburn player in the NFL right now is Bo Nix. The second best.
Whoa, wait. That's a technicality now. Well, wait a minute. I know he started at Auburn, but like I said, when the commissioner announced who he was going to, he didn't say from Auburn. He said from the University of Oregon, quarterback Bo Nix to.
I don't want to go the easy route like everybody is screaming at me to do out there and bring up Jalen Hurts.
I didn't bring him up.
No, but I don't want to. John didn't bring it up because it would be devastating to his case.
No, I'll give you that. He did. I assume that when his name was announced, they said University of Oklahoma or Oklahoma University, whatever they say.
I don't know. Other than Cam, has anybody been more of a hot topic name for John than Bo Nix? I can't, anybody else, an impact player in the NFL, maybe Derek Brown for the Panthers.
Look, any quarterback that will rip his offensive coordinator during a game on the sidelines is okay with me. And that was Bo Nix. Once I saw that, I went, this kid's got some pluck and grit.
Yep, John never did that.
Yeah. All right. Our man Travis Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide, joining us as he does each and every Tuesday. Hey, Travis, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing really well. A little bit disappointed by, the effort by the Jags on Sunday, but I'm prepared to move on past that. Travis, how do you figure, man?
Yeah, that was a thud on the banks of the St. Johns River. No doubt about it. I think the after party that we talked about last Tuesday after that Monday night extended well well into the following weekend.
And he's not just talking about himself, but
No.
The team as well. Travis Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide, Second Helping, No Sleep Teal, all of that stuff as well. Your adjectives to use to describe Alabama's 27-24 win at Missouri on Saturday. Are any at your disposal immediately?
Survival comes to mind. Kind of survive in advance going through this gauntlet right now. It kind of feels like an NCAA tournament setup with every week it ramps up a little bit more. And, obviously you got to close out games a little bit better than they did, being up 10 with just a little bit of time left on the clock, and you allow your opponent to really have a shot to win the game. You're up 10 with less than 3 to go, and you end up having to defend in a way that you could lose the game. So, and the offense has got to help with that too. I mean, you got to get a first down when you get the ball back after the onside kick attempt. But look, I think Kalen talked about it too. These are situations his first team didn't manage as well as this team is managing. So you credit some of these guys for coming up big in big moments. Ty continues to deliver. Lottie Brooks is a true freshman with a huge catch.
Yeah.
Daniel Hill in there for an injured Jam Miller really provides you with what proved to be the winning point. So it's not just that, you're a veteran type of team, but you're getting young guys like DeJohn Lee and Lacier Brooks as true freshmen that are being, big pieces to this thing in the first half of the schedule.
Speaking of Jam Miller, I guess as Coach DeBoer mentioned, I guess they're expecting him to play. We'll see. Who knows? I mean, concussions are something you got to be very, very careful about. But if he doesn't, how will that affect the game plan Saturday night?
Yeah, it's tough because Tennessee likes to be aggressive with their linebackers and not afraid to bring them and put themselves in some man coverage situations on the back end. So, where Jam was pretty clearly your best option in that regard, it's going to be on Kevin Riley. It sounds like they believe in Daniel Hill, who is a 240-pound back. So you like the physicality, the potential he brings from that perspective. But, Jam was a guy that it wasn't ever going to be pretty necessarily. But then when you looked up at the end of the game last Saturday, he had 110 scrimmage yards. So he definitely was helping produce in a couple of different ways on the ball and off the ball. So I think more off the ball is the concern for the Alabama running backs. Once again, with this Tennessee defense, you're going to have to know where it's coming from. You're going to have to be willing to pick it up, which I think Riley and Hill are definitely those kind of guys. And then you're going to have to execute in those situations because Tennessee sack numbers are back to where they were a couple of years ago. They took a dip last year in their sack production, but I think they've got 23 already in 5 games, something like that. So I think pressure is what you're going to worry about more than anything on Ty Simpson.
With that being said, there's some reports, some opinions out there that it was a significant step backwards by the offensive line against Missouri. Significant? Do you agree with that?
I don't know if it was significant. Ty was sacked 4 times. So you don't like to see that. I think some of that you could even go back to Ty. I think Ty would tell you that on a couple of those.
Yeah.
And even when you do get sacked, you got to take care of the football. I mean, it wasn't a situation where he was blindsided or didn't see it coming. As you're going to the ground there, you've got to take care of the ball. So, you can kind of piece it to a couple different ways. And even on that sack, as much as Jam is effective in pass pro, he had a bit of a whiff there. So, you can look at the back in that situation too. So, I thought they ran the ball okay. I thought once they went to more of just a quick, direct approach with the run game, they were able to hit those at least 4, 5, 6-yard runs and kind of control the clock. I mean, they held the football for 38 and a half minutes.
Yes, they did.
They did a good job on third downs, and defensively, they did a really good job of getting Missouri off the field on third downs. But yeah, that's what you're gonna kind of be looking at this week.
You know, it's interesting, Travis, because you're right. I think time of possession has been key for this team this year. Holding on to the ball longer than the opposition, converting third downs, moving the chains. I think it's been a big part of their success.
It has, and in a lot of instances, you would think, well, they're protecting a defense that needs it. And there are times where I totally get that with this Alabama defense. You'd almost like Alabama to take the football to start every game, because it seems like you're either going to be up 7-0, or at worst, you're probably going to hold it for 6 or 7 minutes before you put that defense out there for the first time, because the defense got shredded on an opening possession again on Saturday. So, yeah, I think that it is. And to be fair to the defense, they're getting that type of possessions because, again, on third down Saturday, I think Missouri was 1 of 10. So, they were doing a good job at getting the ball back to the defense. And then, still turnover margin is obviously huge for this team, and any team really. But they were +1, really +2, because they made the stop on the fake punt attempt. That was essentially a turnover in that situation. So they continue to do a good job of sustaining drives, staying on the field, and then still weren't winning turnover margin and being just good enough in special teams. That's still an area I know that a lot of Alabama fans are concerned about, especially when it just comes to kicking the ball, punting it, kicking.
Yeah. Yes. I asked you to quantify significant in terms of significant drop off in the offensive line on Saturday. Is Tennessee, in your opinion, from what you've seen, significantly better than Missouri?
I wouldn't say so. No, I was impressed. I was impressed by Missouri.
Yeah.
And Missouri, I think, was a good sort of precursor to this week, because Tennessee, I don't know if this group is immensely talented as of yet on defense, but year in and year out now, they play with an edge. I mean, they will strike you. And Missouri definitely played that way last week. You just look at Alabama's injury report for more on that. So, there is an intensity that Tennessee's going to bring, an aggressiveness that Tennessee's going to bring defensively, no doubt about it. Again, the pressures, the tackle for loss numbers, the sacks, and the good news for Alabama is it's built in a way offensively where it can overcome a lot of that. And it overcame a lot at Missouri because it wasn't an All-American type of performance or production levels for Jeremy Bernard or Ryan Williams. I mean, you're talking about two guys that combined for 3 catches for 20 yards, and you still won the game on the road against a top 15 opponent. So, Tennessee's going to challenge those guys, I think, more than maybe some other defenses have too. I don't think they're going to sit back there with 2 deep safeties and just kind of let Ty rip the middle of the field on them. I think they're going to come up and, try to really get after him. So, that'll be something to keep an eye on. That defensively for Alabama, I still think it starts with the run game for Tennessee. They're going to come out fast. They're going to come out with tempo. Missouri incorporated some of that early last Saturday, went down the field, got in the end zone. So there's no doubt with Heupel, they're going to be at mock speed.
Yeah.
And, but it'll still start with, can you fit the run correctly? Can you execute in the run game? Because you still had too many occasions against Missouri where you got chunked on some explosive runs.
Travis, Coach DeBoer has gone for it on 4th down quite a bit. Is that more just because of the field goal issues, or just wanting to be aggressive?
I think it's probably both. I think if you've got a Will Reichard that you can cash in with, you're probably going to be a little more willing to run the kicker out there. Some of these are down and distance things too, right? I mean, the thing about Connor Talty is that he's 9 of 13 on field goals so far, and his misses, I believe, have come from 53, 49, and 47. 3 of his 4 misses have come from 47 plus. He's 6 of 6 from inside 40. So for a college kicker in his first year on the job, to me, that's about what you could expect from him. And so I think DeBoer, even if you go back to his previous stints, is good with going for force. I thought it surprised Missouri on the 4th and 8 or whatever it was on the play to Brooks, because at the snap, Alabama looked like they were trying to draw or, hard count them, things like that. And then they snapped the ball, and Missouri didn't really get off in the pass rush because I think they were surprised that, these guys are going to go for this.
They're serious.
And it still took a hell of a throw and catch to convert it. But I think that's just kind of who he is. And I think some of it does have to do with Talty from distance hasn't been what he's been from 40 and in.
Maybe, over swinging. That was always my problem on the golf course.
His miss against Missouri, he pured it. I mean, he hit it great.
Yeah.
He just pulled it a little bit off the left hash, and that's all it takes.
This rivalry coming up, the third Saturday in October, Alabama's won 10 straight at home. Their last loss in Tuscaloosa against Tennessee took 5 overtimes in 2003. And Alabama leads the overall series by like 20 something. Why is the Tennessee, just people saying the word Tennessee, chafe Alabama fans so much, Travis?
Well, I mean, you can go back to the Phil Fulmer situation. That doesn't sit well with them, and the probation and everything like that. But it's always been a intense rivalry, and it's been one of streaks too. It
surely has.
This has been more give and take over the last 3 or 4 years than we're used to seeing. I mean, it's typically been one of these teams goes on a just enormous run for years. So, for Alabama, they're trying to also prevent back-to-back losses to Tennessee in this series since, I guess,
03, 04.
04, 03, 04. 03 was the Casey Clausen 4th and 19, I think.
Oh, boy. How'd you bring that one up?
Sorry, John. Yeah.
I remember that.
I hope you weren't planning on eating lunch. But
talk about chafing. Ooh.
That goes back a long. It's very intense. There's no doubt about it for a multitude of reasons. I think it's also geographically, where some people live in relation to the state and Tennessee and, those type of things, whether it's Auburn or Tennessee for some Alabama fan.
And I think, General Nealon, Coach Bryant, I mean, that big rivalry that they had. I mean, my late father, this was the game on his schedule. He could have all the other ones, but this was the one every year. Had to beat Tennessee, can't stand Tennessee, hate that orange, the whole deal. There's a lot of passion about this game, to say the least. One thing I've always wondered about, maybe this, Travis, I had heard that prior to television games, or maybe when it was still black and white for some reason, that when Alabama and Tennessee played, they both wore their home uniforms, had that orange and red going, kind of that autumn color scheme and whatnot. I think it'd be kind of neat if they did it again and kind of, made this game, hey, this is the third Saturday in October and you play in your home uniforms kind of. I mean, people might say it's a gimmick, but I think it'd be kind of cool to bring that back.
Yeah, I mean, the colors even look like autumn, right?
Yeah.
When you get them together. Look like fall foliage.
I love it.
No, I think, you've seen it with UCLA, USC too.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool aesthetic when you get that together. So I'm good with that.
Final question.
I'll text Greg Byrne later today and just give him that little idea, see what happens.
Final question from me, and it has to do, you cover Alabama, you cover the NFL. I'm surprised at some of the back chat from some NFL players about Tua Tagovailoa's comments after the Dolphins lost yet another game, calling out his teammates for being late to meetings and being late to Zoom calls and stuff like that. The right thing for him to do, or no?
Based on the blowback, I'd say no. But, what I don't know is, a lot of the blowback is involved. Well, this is something you tell your teammates. This is something you keep in-house. Well, maybe Tua has. Do we know if Tua has already maybe a couple of times gone to these teammates or in a team meeting with everybody in there kind of made that statement within the walls of the facility? If he has, then I don't have as much of a problem with him saying it at the podium. Now, if he hasn't, then okay, right. As a team captain, that's something that within the walls you should probably address. But I don't know. I don't know if he's already tried to do that. So, but when he said it, you kind of anticipated what the response was going to be. And that's just a mess down there. And I don't know what they're going to do with the head coach situation. Sounds like the owner wants to stick with that. If that happens, what does that mean for Tua? I mean, Tua's got his deal, so how are you going to be able to move him?
Yeah.
So it's a rough situation down there.
Yeah, you would kind of like to see Tua get moved somewhere we could have, a better situation, better personnel around him, have it be on a winning team with a winning program. Where do you think Mac Jones is next year?
That's a great question. I thought before Sunday, and even Sunday, he played well.
Yeah,
he played good in that game. He had some, he had a couple of picks that weren't great, but it was so much was on him throughout that game, and they continue to be decimated at the wide receiver and tight end position. I mean, they're two of their 3 or 4 biggest stars he hasn't had really yet to work with. And I think he's won 3 of his 4 starts. So, I felt like even after New England, he would land somewhere where he could at least compete for the starting job. Now, Jacksonville, I thought wisely brought him in as the backup to Trevor. And, I think somewhere Matt can be a Sam Darnold for someone, right? I mean, he can be that kind of guy. So I don't know if it's eventually a Cleveland, maybe a Cincinnati with Joe Burrow's injury history says, look, we got to have that kind of guy that is essentially ready to go, kind of like Brock Purdy's situation. I guess it just depends on how this goes the rest of the year. And thing I hate for him is he's hurt. I mean, he's playing hurt. He's not, banged up. He is injured and he's
hurt,
playing. And so what's the shelf life of that with still 10 or 11 games to go in that league? I mean, you're playing on one leg in week 6. What's that going to look like in week 10? So I think almost ideally for him, Purdy will get back in there, and allow him to kind of heal. That they've been juggling that situation, trying to get one out there because they're both hurt.
Travis Ryer on YouTube. Talking Tide, second helping, no sleep teal. What do the next 2 or 3 days look like programming-wise?
Well, we'll have more Alabama stuff, obviously. We'll have some SEC talk in all likelihood, and just try to keep it rolling there at Ryer on YouTube.
Check it out, folks. I'm telling you, it is quite informative and entertaining. So many great platforms. Check out Travis Ryer with all that he does.
Yep.
Travis, thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest.
Take care.
You too, buddy. Appreciate that. Man, all over. We got a little Jags talk, got a little Tide talk.
Some Dolphins.
Got a little golf talk. Man, good stuff going on there from Travis. So, Barry, what do you think? 3rd Saturday in October, Orange, Crimson, both on the field at the same time.
Can I tell you what I think is the reason why the rivalry is? Blah, 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 Neyland, blah, 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 Bear, blah, 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 Orange. Here's what the deal is. This is the basic foundation for the hatred in the 3rd Saturday in October. Tennessee fans always acting like they invented and perfected the sport of college football when Alabama fans know that they have.
Yeah. I should have patented that statement when I first brought it up 30 years ago, because they do act like they invented the game.
And it's frustrating because, Tennessee fans, when things are going good, believe me, I have no love for Tennessee. When things are going good for Tennessee, they're like, everybody wants to be us.
Yeah.
When things are going bad, and it doesn't have to be that bad, they're like, oh, my, we stink. Fire everybody. I'm done. We are so awful. There's never any middle ground. They're pretty, bipolar and all that. And, when they win an SEC championship, or God forbid, like 1999, when they win a national championship, they're acting like the sport of football owes the University of Tennessee a debt of gratitude for all they have meant for the development of the sport. And Alabama fans are over there saying, we're the ones that perfected the sport. It's us. What do you guys think you're doing?
I will say this, Bear. When I do watch a Tennessee game, when they're not playing Alabama and the game's in Knoxville, I got to give it to the fans. I mean, these people, they show up. The place is packed. They could probably put another 30,000 seats in that place and people would show up. It must not be a lot going on in East Tennessee. I don't know. But those fans are going to show up. I'll give them that.
And they're going to wear that god-awful orange.
I mean, unlike
Texas
the student
orange
at Ole Miss last week that didn't show up and Kiffin called them out.
Yeah.
Tennessee fans are going to the game.
Well, when we come back, anybody care for a little update on the Phantoms Daily Dog? It is on the schedule. It does come up next. We'll have to address that when we return. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Well, we are tabulating the results. I don't know if the Phantom will ever play a baseball game in his Phantom Daily Dog. Seems like he's going to have to sooner or later. But when it comes to the oblong ball with the pointy ends and everything, the Phantom knows ball.
Well, yeah, we appreciate that. And last night we did dabble into the NFL. There were 2 games last night, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But we like the early game. And I don't know why people don't like multiple games on Monday. I'm all for it. Hey, let's do it. I like it. But
at the same time, though, I mean, some of us don't have John's technical expertise to be able to watch 2 games. Some of us might have the technical expertise and prefer to concentrate on 1 game. But that the 2-game Monday Night Football experiment, ratings-wise, has been a rousing success.
I can see it would be. Now, of course, the Falcon-Bill game started about 45 minutes, maybe an hour earlier than the Bear-Commander game.
Yeah.
So you kind of get in on that a little bit. And it's interesting. I will say this. I got the Falcon Bill game on. They got the Bear Commander score in the top left-hand corner. So you still see the score.
Respect.
And then you can watch the game, or you can go dual game, like I've been known to do. Or last night I went tri-box because I had a baseball game on too, believe it.
Did you
not.
really?
I did. I sure did for a minute.
So you got tri-box. They're all the same size?
They're not, because when you do tri-box, you got one in the left-hand corner, one in the top right-hand corner. Then they put the third one kind of in the middle below them. So you got two little areas that are kind of just black. But the quad box takes up the whole screen because every screen is the same size. But when you have three, it's kind of out of whack a little bit. But it's okay. The screens are bigger. It's just a black area.
If you have three, guess which one goes down there in that black area?
Oh, that's the baseball game. There's no doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Western.
So, gotta tell you, felt pretty good about how the game started out. The Falcons had an opportunity to be up 28-7 at halftime of last play of the first half. They're just trying to, 6 seconds to go. They run a little dink route to get a little closer to kick a field goal.
The guy is so wide open.
Oh, yeah.
He says,
I'm going for it.
I'm going for it.
And steps out of bounds at the 2.
This, he hit the pylon.
Yeah.
And remember, this was after the Bills had it with 22 seconds to go. Had it. They're trying to get into halftime. For some reason, Josh Allen throws it. Intercepted. And on the next play, kid's wide open. Immediately, he sees how wide open he is. And the Longshore thought enters into his head. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Well, the worst that could happen would be that you dive for the pylon from 40 yards out and score the touchdown. Everybody goes crazy. But no, upon review, your foot goes out of bounds at the 3. First half is over with. You don't even get the touchdown. You don't even get the field goal.
I thought that was a bad omen. I got to tell you, Buffalo gets the ball
too.
back, scores, cuts it to 21-14. I'm thinking, here we go. But that was about it. Not a lot going on in the second half. The Falcons win the game 24-14 as an underdog, won the game outright. So good for the Falcons, 24-14. We get a winner there. Turning the page to tonight.
Yeah.
Am I going to go college football? Well,
I don't know.
I just got to tell you. I just got to tell you. This lineup of Tuesday night games.
New Mexico State at Liberty? You're not going down to Mobile for Arkansas State and South Alabama on the Deuce? ESPNU, which Coach Blakeney stood for. The ESPNU stands for ESPN. You can't get it. ESPNU has FIU at WKU.
Is that Bowling Green, Kentucky, or Bowling Green?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. No. These games. I mean, South Alabama's not very good this year, are they? Have they lost a lot of games? Yeah. So, no. So we're going to go Major League Baseball.
Yes.
I think there's one game tonight.
We are in the division series. I mean, the league championship series. The winners of these series go to the World Series. There were 2 games last night, both of them phenomenal. Only one game tonight as the National League Championship Series kind of catches up. The AL Series has gone 2 games. The National League Series has only gone 1, so they're catching up tonight while the AL takes a night off.
So we're going to go with Major League Baseball. Don't know what the ratings are going to be for the game tonight. Maybe you'll want to, take a little look and see. But Milwaukee already down a game. They're in a hole against the Dodgers, the mighty Dodgers. Mal has already chimed in on the River Region Straw chat line about his Dodgers today. We'll get to that in a moment. But just don't see the Dodgers being able to take 2 games in a row on the road. I don't know who's on the hill tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's Freddie Peralta, who's had a good year for the Brewers, against my guy, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's been really good for the L.A. Dodgers. But listen to John on this. And believe me, I'm a Braves fan, but I'm big-time Dodgers fan. I know the Dodgers are the defending World Series champion. I know that they have spent more than anybody else in player contracts and all that. But Milwaukee had the best record in Major League Baseball this year, and they're playing at home.
Yeah, that's you can't forget about that. Had a really good record. They won a lot of games, beat a lot of teams. They're at home tonight. They're in a hole, down one game, catching 110. They're an underdog. They're at plus 110 tonight. We're going with the Milwaukee Brewers to win the game against the Dodgers tonight in Major League Baseball. Now, am I going to maybe flip over to some of these crappy college games that are on tonight? Yeah, probably so. Will I watch more of those than the baseball game? I couldn't bet against it. We'll see. There you have it. Brewers at home, catching 110 against the Dodgers. We like the Brewers.
You even admit to the possibility that you might peek in on Arkansas State, South Alabama,
possibly,
rather than the National League Championship Series?
Maybe. Mike, can't say I won't.
Okay.
Can't say that I won't. I've been wanting to ask this question.
A question? What is it?
And I've heard a little feedback on it. This is just my personal feeling. I'd like to know what you thought. At halftime of the Auburn-Georgia game, as the teams were heading into their respective locker rooms, Hugh Freeze let the head official know how he felt.
He was not very pleased.
No. Now, he didn't stop. He didn't put his hands on the official. He just kind of ran by him as they were leaving the field. I've seen that happen before. The officials probably should have already known it was coming and maybe ran a little faster to get off the field. But he didn't, but no big deal. What I did think was interesting, and I'm not a big fan of, is the athletic director doing it too.
Ooh, and he was doing it. You know, John Cohen was out there, and unlike John's depiction of Hugh Freeze, who was kind of matter-of-fact about it, you suck, you shouldn't be getting a paycheck, I question your parentage. John Cohen was blistering that referee.
I know you're taking up for your team, but nothing's going to get done at halftime on Saturday night. You can say whatever you want to, but nothing is going to change. Nothing's going to get done. Sunday morning, you're going to call up Greg Sankey and John McKnight, and you're going to air out your differences and let them know your frustrations. But doing it then's not going to do any good. You can't let your emotions get the best of it, particularly if you're the athletic director. I mean, I don't really love coaches doing it, but I get it. But the athletic director, I don't think I've ever seen that happen ever. And I know it was a tough situation. Don't get me wrong. You know, people always take it up for his team and blah, blah, blah. I think an athletic director is at a higher standard. He's got to be the cooler head in the room.
And plus, like John said, bottom line is, it ain't going to do anything about it.
Also, Barry, we've talked about this before. Years and years and years we've talked about it. They used to talk about it a lot in the NFL. People would say, you know, the NFL is fixed, the National Fixed League. And I've seen a lot of crazy, wacky stuff go on in the NFL over the years. Not as much as since we've got an instant replay, but be that as it may.
Right.
And I'll say this about the Auburn situation. Do you really think that Greg Sankey and John McKnight, the head of officials, and everybody else said, guess what, fellas? We're going to screw Auburn. Yeah, we don't like Hugh Freeze. We didn't like Auburn hiring him, and we're going to get back at him. So this is our plan. And it doesn't leave this room, and you got to keep it quiet, and we're just going to give Auburn the business. You know, we're going to do all we can.
Man, if we can drag Georgia into the college football playoff, man, we need to do whatever we can. Auburn ain't making it, you know, bleep Auburn.
Yeah.
We need to. I do think this. No, I don't think that happens. But I do think this. I do think that there was a little advantage with the referees to have Nick Saban on the sidelines, and if he's throwing his headset and screaming at a referee, I've seen it before.
Yes.
They don't like that. They don't want. It's a little bit different when Saban is doing it than it was when Brian Harsin was doing it, or it was
I'll give you
when
that. Let
me think of Jerry DiNardo was doing it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Saban did have a flag thrown on him for stepping out onto the field or being too far out there and giving.
I remember Pat Dye had back-to-back 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalties conduct. So that stuff does happen.
Love that guy. I remember Lou Holtz putting an official in a headlock, and they didn't throw the
he
flag
was
on
proving a point. But the thing with him clapping, allegedly, he was not.
Yeah, that was a mistake, no doubt.
It didn't really affect the game. I mean, it really didn't. It didn't mean anything in the ultimate football sense of it. But I firmly believe that if it had been Shane Beamer or if it had been Bryant Vincent, the head coach of ULM at Jordan-Hare Stadium, doing that and then saying, oh, no. I was clapping. I was saying he was clapping. I wasn't giving the timeout when he absolutely certainly was. I think that the referees talked themselves into that one. Jason Caldwell from Auburn Undercover, and we'll ask him about it. He said that, man, you gotta be a little bit stronger than that if you're a referee.
Yeah,
because it's Kirby Smart. They're like, maybe he did. I don't want to look like an idiot.
I don't know. I know. I get the Saban thing. Is there intimidation or this guy's the dean or whatever? One national title. I don't know if that really factors in at the moment that they're thinking about that. Well, I can't go throw a flag on him. He's won a national title.
I do.
Because I just think that was a mistake. I don't think it's anything predetermined. I don't think they're going out there going to listen. If Kirby goes berserk, you got to give him a little wiggle room. I don't think they talk about that before the game starts. I just think they made a mistake. Their judgment was not good in that situation.
Their backbone wasn't good in that situation.
But this conspiracy theory business that the league's got it in for Auburn and blah, blah, blah. No. I mean, and believe me, I've heard grown adults talk this way. The SEC's against us. It's a conspiracy theory. They're in a boardroom doing all they can to get back at Auburn, and they don't like Hugh Freeze and blah, 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 blah. Really?
Do you remember what was it? What was the movie with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson? Was it a Lethal Weapon or something like that? Where you had you had Joe Pesci. He's in the back seat. He said they dupe you in the drive-thru. They dupe you. They dupe you in the drive-thru. They take your money. You're already gone. There's Auburn fans who think that they're out to screw Auburn. They are out to because they want Auburn to be down and everything like that. I think maybe sometimes I should use more props on my camera here on the show. Biggest prop I've ever used. Every once in a while, I'll show you my Dodgers thing, or I'll wear my Jags jersey or something. If I need to buy a metal colander, a metal, strainer, and put some aluminum foil on it and put it on my head to illustrate some of those people out there, that there are UFOs that are using rays to melt our brains and stuff like that. Because some of that stuff, I'm like, I thought you were grown. I thought you were a grown human being. I've been treating you like an adult. Are you 5? That type of thing.
Now, do I think, and there again, I don't think they get in a room and predetermine this, but, as Notre Dame caught breaks over the years to maybe get in a position to be in a playoff or a national championship game or this, that, and the other, it kind of seems like they have been. Am I of the belief in this mega money environment that we're in currently with college athletics that, we really need these teams in because they're the ones that get the highest TV ratings and the networks are happier and the sponsors like that more. We don't need SMU and we don't need Indiana.
It's like Pinto with that unconscious girl. You've got, the angel of what's good for college football saying, You need to let those boys decide who the champion are. They need to decide it on the field. And on the other side, you got ESPN with the forked tail and the red suit and the trident saying, screw them. We need them. We need viewers. Forget that. Whatever you can do to get Georgia in and Ohio State. Well, we love SMU and Boise State just as much. They deserve a chance as well, And the SEC is thinking, shut up. Let me go with the devil. Got to take a break.
Yep.
It's Longshore and McKnight, associated with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is excited to participate in our annual Catch Me in Pink campaign, raising money for cutting-edge breast cancer research. We partnered locally with the Joy to Life Foundation and Vera Bradley to help raise significant funds in support of the cause. Each week, we are giving away prizes locally in addition to our national grand prize, a tropical trip for 2. To enter, simply snap an Ussie of you and a pink-clad Dixie employee and enter it on our website. Dixie will donate money for every photo that's submitted, and you will be entered to win big.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry and Longshore and McKnight are giving you the opportunity to win a 1-carat lab-grown diamond valued at $500. Pick the exact score for either the Auburn or Alabama games each week. Limit 1 entry per person, per household, per game. You can enter anytime beginning Monday morning the week of the games, and all entries must be received before kickoff of each game. Enter by emailing your picks to longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. That's longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. And in the subject line, type in diamonds. 1 additional entry to win a 1-carat natural diamond valued at $3,000 will be up for all weekly winners to pick the score in the national championship game. Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. Open 7 days a week, or check them out at marguerites.com. At Marguerites, they make it. They really make it. All righty, back at it here on this Tuesday. Barry, it's interesting how things can start moving. And we've seen this happen even on Fridays when the Phantom makes some selections and the lines start moving. I've already seen some movement since we've been on live this morning with this Auburn-Missouri game. I'm seeing some places across the board where Auburn is now an underdog, still a favorite, and some others. That's called a middle. So if you went ahead and took Missouri at +2, +1.5 yesterday, and then you see now they're laying 1.5 to 2, you can work that middle and win both ways. How about that? Barry's over going,
there's a word that I'm just trying to recall. There's some sort of word for that. It's not like hedging or shorting.
That's called play in the middle. Yeah, I knew a guy in college that there was a big middle in a game, like 6 points or something. He bet the middle and hit both sides.
Steelers Wheel had a song like that. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am playing the middle with you. Time now for our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, presented by Victoryland 777 Casinos, Exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. Here's the quick setup. John and I have not seen these topics. We don't know what they are. Doubled up, already gone, moody, murky, snooty. We haven't seen any of them.
Nope.
So we are reacting off the top of our heads on all of them. Let's get to it.
Let's do it. Why not? Don't know them. They're new to us. A lot of green on the wheel. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. You can be a winner too.
Already Gone, which was a pretty doggone good Eagles
song.
Was.
It sure was.
I have to eat your lunch all by yourself because I'm already gone. Oh, yeah. We mentioned this. Brian Branch.
Come on.
Smacks Juju. Yeah. Game's over. I mean,
It
there's like
is.
2 seconds left.
Yeah.
Brian Branch, I think he got hit late by Juju.
Came running. I think
carried a grudge about it, and he apologized afterwards. I did a childish thing, but I'm tired of people doing things between plays and the refs don't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And his coach, Dan Campbell, says, I love Brian Branch, but what he does is inexcusable. It's not going to be accepted here. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about. So he gets a suspension. I think it's a game. Maybe.
Well, here's the deal with that. Look, I don't condone. Well, I can't say that. If you're going to fight, do it while the game is being played. Not after. Don't go cheap shot. Game's over.
Everybody's shaking everybody else's hand. Good game. How the kids. Boom.
Come on. If you're going to swing at somebody, do it while the game is being played or while the game clock still has some time on it. Don't go cheap shot after the game's over.
Shouldn't do it anyway.
Sure, but. And the reason I say that, Barry, 40-something years ago after the J.D. Lee game, a fight broke out when the game was over. Was I involved with it? Kind of, in the fact that I was going, hit that guy. Did you
egg it on?
Yeah. Was I egging it on? Yeah, probably so. But it still left a bad taste in my mouth. So, cheap shot after a play gets it going. Okay, but not after the game. Come on, man.
All right, back to it. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Victoryland open 24/7, 365, where you can be a winner too.
Moody.
John
and I have a very good friend, Big Bill Moody. This is Jake Moody.
Jake Moody
signed a couple of hours before by the Chicago Bears.
How about that?
Hits the field goal. Bears win 25-24. I don't know why he hadn't been playing. He was pretty doggone good.
Yeah. You don't ever hear that about like a wide receiver. It's always some kicker that they brought in 2 hours before the game.
Yeah. And, he shows up. Hey, he don't know his snapper. He don't know his holder. He says, hey, guys, do me right here.
Just spin the laces away from me. That's all I ask.
Bears win. They beat the Commanders. Remember, the Commanders last year beat the Bears on that Hail Mary. They kind of get a measure of revenge in that one last night.
When did the Commanders put numbers on their helmets?
That was way back when they were just known as remember that, how stupid that was? The Washington football team. And everybody says, what the heck? The Washington football team? So they put numbers on the sides of their helmets. And then they were like, wait a minute, we'll have, whenever we do come up with our team name, it's going to be a doozy. You're going to love it. And it turns out to be the Commanders.
That name's I know Trump's been in Israel and Egypt taking care of more important stuff, but didn't he say something about making them change the name
back to Redskins?
Yeah,
back to Redskins. It didn't even feel dirty to say Redskins out. The only commander is Commander Cody and the Cadillac Kids, which had a great song called Hot Rod Lincoln one time. The Commanders. You're like, we waited 2 years for the Washington football team, and you come up with the Commanders. All right, back at it quickly before we take a break.
Yes, do it.
Here we go.
It's going to land on
doubled up. Yes.
Is that this has got to be about gambling.
Doubled up or a bad hop grounder.
Ooh, yeah. Ouch. Yeah, no kidding.
Double.
That'll hurt you.
Oh, yeah. This double play. I've never seen anything like it. Just watch it. Long fly ball, center field, runners aboard.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a snag.
That would have been a grand slam. Makes the catch. That's one out. Throws home for the force.
Kind of looks safe to me.
And then wait a minute. The player is like, wait a minute. I caught the ball.
Yeah. What the hey?
But he didn't. It hit the top of the thing. It hit the yellow line. That meant it was in play. The runners couldn't run. So that means there were force plays. So they got a force at home, and then he walked the ball from home to third because the Dodgers base runner hadn't yet left from second base. So the center fielder thought he made the catch. Turned out he didn't. It goes 8-6-2, grounded into a double play because the ball hit the playing surface. That was weird. Let's take a break. More in a moment.
Did that catcher for the Brewers have on like yellow gear, protecting gear?
You hate that stuff, don't you?
I don't like that.
Yeah,
No.
he's an Engelberg kind of catcher's equipment kind of
I don't
guy.
like that.
It's good enough for Engelberg. Should be good enough for them. Take a break. Back in a moment. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has F-150s and Lightnings, each 16 grand off, with 2.9% on F-150 or 0% on Lightning. And Super Duties, 12 grand off or 0%.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Stivers Ford of Montgomery has Broncos and Explorers, each $10,000 off, with 2.9% on Explorer. Plus, Mach-E's at 11 grand off or 0% for 75 months.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Drive away in a brand new Chevy Silverado Trail Boss or win your share of $25,000 in free play and cash during Victoryland Casino's Truck and Bucks giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit our Players Club and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings November 7th and 8th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
All right.
Already back at it here on a Tuesday, about 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Got 3 panels left. Let's see what's in store.
Murky, comeback, and breaking away. Come back with a question mark. Breaking Away, great movie. Dennis Christopher, Jackie Earl Haley, Paul Dooley, set in Bloomington, Indiana. Breaking Away.
Breaking Away.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Brian Callahan was 4-19. That's even worse than, well, I'm not even going to say.
No kidding.
4-19 as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
Well, you know, I'm surprised he got that far, Barry, quite honestly.
Yeah, they've been bad.
I mean, whew, maybe they need to get into their new stadium or something. But I got to tell you, I saw that come across the wire yesterday. The wire. Off the crawl on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, somebody could have said, hey, do you know who the head coach of the Titans is? Or have you ever heard of a guy named Bill Callahan?
Yeah.
The only Callahan I know is Harry.
From Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood. Bill Callahan actually coached the Raiders to a Super Bowl one time. And rode that to a head coaching position at the University of Nebraska, where he's terrible. Well, Brian is his boy. They've named Mike McCoy as the interim coach. McCoy's great. He used to coach the Chargers for 3 years. He's been with the Jags the last couple of years. And they're going to give him every chance. Mike McCoy, he's like 53. I think he's the guy. I think he's the guy that can take advantage of Cam Ward and all that. So, breaking away from Brian Callahan, who's
Gurn Jr.'s up there
4 wins
in Nashville. Maybe he'll get the scoop on the future of the Titans.
2 more.
All right, 2 more to go. Let's spin the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel, and it's going to land on murky.
Murky.
You don't want to go swimming in murky waters.
No. Well, yeah, like the 49ers, the Vikings have quarterback issues. They let Sam Darnold go because they believed in J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy hurt his ankle against the Falcons. Now Carson Wentz, who has played with every NFL franchise that ever existed, I think.
I believe you're right.
He's hurt his shoulder. So what options do they have if neither one of them can go? None. They don't. Somebody's going to have to play hurt.
Is that guy that was the Harvard grad with the beard that played quarterback for so many NFL teams?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Is he still available or is he retired?
He's been retired. He's on the Fox show with the dude from Travis Kelce's brother.
That was a good story.
That was good.
All right,
Yeah, he
one more
played
to go.
One more. Here we are.
Got to spin it to make it official. It is the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We're going to see what happens here.
It's comeback, but it should be pronounced comeback?
Well, didn't LL Cool J say, don't call it a comeback? Don't call it a comeback.
Which is part of a major vehicle ad campaign or something.
Sure is, yeah.
This ain't happening. This ain't happened. Tiger Woods looks like Steve Austin. 7th back surgery on Friday. Underwent a lumbar disc replacement.
Who does that type of stuff?
Ow. He ruptured his Achilles tendon. He had the car crash. I'm not sure anything is still its original equipment, including what got him in trouble at Perkins Restaurant that time. He ain't never going to be a competitive golfer.
I don't think so either. Hated for him. He was great when in his prime, but
greater than great. Yes.
It's been a tough go for Tiger, but he certainly catapulted the game of golf.
He absolutely advanced the sport, no doubt. Thanks today for Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, Travis Ryder on YouTube. Plenty to do on the program today. C.J. Duncan's college coach got let go at Penn State, James Franklin, but I don't think he's feeling too sorry for him, what with the $50 million he's going to get paid in severance. We'll visit with C.J. Duncan tomorrow.
We will. Also, our Phoenix Physical Therapy medical segment. We'll get into that tomorrow. I think Robert Kahn might be with us tomorrow. We'll see.
Okay.
And, of course, the Moneyline Magician, Josh Harris, at the bottom of hour number 2.
It's going to be great.
A lot going on here on the program, so we look forward to it. Thanks for everybody on the chat line.
Love you guys.
Our friends at River Region Straw, appreciate that. Email longshoremcknight@gmail.com. Get those score picks in for Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn, and Missouri for your chance to win a $500 lab-grown 1-carat diamond from Mark Reitz. So we got a lot happening tomorrow. We expect you to be a part of it as well.
Yep, that's exactly right. For our producer, Gurn Jr., John Longshore, and Barry McKnight, it's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by